Hi, my name is Zipporah Nyambura Kamau. I'm a gender and governance specialist. I was also an MCA candidate in the just concluded general election in Kiambu, Kabete ward.
My name is Aisha Said Ibrahim. I vied as an MCA in Makina ward, Kibra constituency in Nairobi County.
My name is Wadira Kibinda, and I am passionate about governance in Africa. In 2022, I was vying for County Women Representative in the lovely county of Murang'a.
My name is Gedi Amamo. I am from Marsabit County. In the just concluded elections, I vied for Woman Representative for Marsabit.
Hi, my name is Lucy Wangoi. I vied for MCA seat in Mihango Ward, Embakasi East constituency in Nairobi County.
I have been a frequent user of the internet. I post regularly. That was before the election. During the election, I minimized my posting, and that was because of the kind of OGBV I went through when I posted my first post saying that I'm vying. So before that, because I do some community work, I used to post very often. But then after, I just started posting a few posts here and there, so not very often.
I think I'm a frequent user of social media. I have a Twitter account, I have a Facebook account, I have Instagram, and I also have a political page. During election, my political page was a daily post because of daily activities, and I used to share them with my personal account. But lately, because not much is happening on my individual account, I use it once in a while.
I use social media a lot, but depends on what platform. Marsabit will mostly use Facebook. Twitter may not reach so many people. I'd say I use Facebook a lot and TikTok now because that's what has a wider coverage for me. If I'm not on Facebook today, maybe on IG or TikTok, just somewhere.
I think before I became actively involved in politics, it would be maybe every other day. But now I've realized my conversations and content has changed to point more to governance, democracy, and I'm finding myself either reiterating more on the week that has been. So I guess quite often, but then with a caveat of what I want to engage with.
Being a female politician on social media, people view me differently. There are those that embrace the fact that I can go and get and vie for a political seat. There are those people that feel that I'm just there for the sake of being there. And there are those that view me as a role model. And of course, there are those haters who think that I'm just there to be seen.
As a female politician, that changes the way people interact with me online, because as I mentioned before, I used to be in community work and I used to post daily, and I didn't get any kind of backlash or OGBV. But once I mentioned that I'm vying for MCA, there was so much backlash, and that was just because I had mentioned that I'm going into politics.
I feel like I've been scrutinized. I have to think about what I post. What will people think? What will the men think? What will the younger generation think? So it does. Being a female politician really has, it affects.
Being a female politician, I feel it has changed how my previous audience will engage with me now. More vocal about politics and governance. I feel I cannot be vulnerable enough with my personal life as maybe I used to be before. My audience expects a certain kind of conversation? Is it budgets? Is it what happened the week before? So yes, I feel being a female politician, the audience has changed, the content has changed.
Being a female politician changes how people interact with me online, because people of the society looks at everything that I post very seriously, or they take everything that I post with a very heavy perception. Yeah, so I really think that being a female politician changes everything about how you post and what you post.
I'm one person who writes what they think and what they feel, because depending on what I want to post, I think words just come automatically. If it's a photo that I'm posting, it has come with the right words of the event probably, or maybe of something that I want to put across. There are those things that maybe you want to talk to someone who is feeling a bit down, depending on the number of questions of people who comes to my inbox. I post things that are either affecting me, affecting other people, or I feel that affects the community. I post the happening of my ward, but on my personal account, I can just post anything from the food. Basically, my social media is diverse depending on the activities that are happening.
I don't think through it very much, as often as I used to during the campaign periods. So during the campaign, I had to look at a post, I had to look at the photos that I was posting and see whether people will complain, oh, you're looking fat, you're looking... So I put so much thought into posting during that time. But this time, because I'm not doing anything political, I'm just continuing with my community work, I don't put that much effort or thought into what I'm posting.
I know what to post, I think, and what not to post. I have decided to not post some stuff, even if I'd want to post. So by the time I decide to post, I know this is something that can be consumed by the public. So there are things I'll never even post.
Semantics, I have to check on the grammar, I have to counter check facts and figures. So I feel it's almost becoming like a job rather than a fun thing that I used to do. No regrets though, but now, yeah, that's different.
Most times I really think before I post, like I'll write something and then think and then go to the mind of the people who read and see how they will perceive it. Yeah, so it really takes time for me to like post something.
Social media is good. It's both good and bad. I have been able to, for example, voice my ambition in politics through social media. And I've also done a lot of talking about the conflicts and ethnic violence in Marsabit through social media. It's really built me. But then again, it's also worked against me, especially during campaigns. I'd be compared with other politicians. I was vying for governor initially, and I was the only woman. So they would say, oh, we don't need models. We need leaders, just because I'm slim and I'm young, and so they think I'm fit to go do modeling and not run for governorship. And that made me even change the post I was going for. I realized culturally it would work against me, because what my fellow youths will post on the media will eventually get to the elders. So by the time I get to campaign or tell the elders, they have a certain thinking about me. So I had to change and say, so these guys think we just need to run for the woman rep seat. So that's how I ended up to first make the name to get the popularity. That's how I even changed. So it kind of damaged my dream. I was going big. I wanted to be the first woman, even just to be on the ballot as a governor candidate. So I had to go for the seat that is reserved for women.
Kenyans have a way of how they handle female politicians, because they always associate the success or the interactions of female politicians into sexual. I remember during my campaign, there's another institution that carried out my story of where I've come from, because I've really come from far. And I could see the people writing the comments. Some of the people could really write badly. So the people were like, tell her to tell us how she moved from a waitress to own lorries, how many people has she slept with. There's been a lot of exploitation especially when it comes to social media, because someone can use pseudo accounts and attack you. And it's not just on social media, even on individual, you can see even people who are really even talking bad on your face.
So when I turned 40, my friend Elsie gifted me this lovely band, and I thought it would be amazing for my photo shoot, the official campaign shoot. So I took this dressed in the way I am, and that was part of the trolling. I remember also people complained a lot about my piercings. They have a long story, but for me, they're a mark of honor for some significant phases of my life. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go 50-50. So I remember not going to a campaign trail with my nose ring, but had my lip ring. And it was interesting because then it was a conversation starter, because men would come or women would come and say, oh, what's this? And they're like, oh, and we begin conversation as I tell them of who I am. But the larger masses who were online could not understand. And unfortunately, those are not the guys who had the votes.
And I remember that was the moment I mentioned that I'm going to vie as an MCA. The people who were supporting my opponent went and took my pictures from way back, and then they started now speaking negative about how small I am, how a woman cannot lead and all that. So yes, that happened when I mentioned that I wanted to vie, and it really affected me because for a moment I thought, no, maybe I should not vie. And I had, of course, thoughts of maybe stepping down and leaving it at that.
I read somewhere that 1 out of 3 women are cyberbullied, so much so that they leave social media and don't come back. I think there was a season in life where I felt I was not worthy to share just because of the bullying or the harsh words, the DMs. It's how you look as a woman. My nature is, what's the bigger picture? I remember seeing some of those either gentlemen or young men going at it, because I'd posted something and it would be very negative. And I would get their numbers and call them and tell them, this is where they are. How can I help you? What is the issue? What do you want me to do for you once I get into government? And I must say a couple of those turned to be my greatest supporters and voters.
Being trolled, being judged affect how I interact. So I just want to appear like a serious person now, like a leader, like what people want to see. And I know I would post things now and they'll be brought back in 2027 and say, see what she went to do after she lost. Even if she wins, this is what she will do. It's really changed what I post, how I post, where I post.
This experience really impacted the way I've been sharing online. But I've been very cautious about even the things that I forward, because I realize that people don't realize how vile and toxic online gender-based violence is. And so most of us are perpetrators because we forward probably their nude photos of someone that have been sent and messages that are hurtful. So we forward them without thinking about the consequences. And so this experience that I've had really impacted that.
For once, I did not think that people can be so evil towards a person or towards a woman who wants to ask for a political seat. But I think with time I've learned how to go about it when it comes to cyberbullying. I've learned how to navigate through the abuse and everyone or anyone who comes at me, looking at me in a wrong way as a woman.
I envision a future where there is no online harassment, and not only online harassment but also offline, because both of them have similar consequences. And having undergone both the online and the physical and online violence, I would like to see a future where my daughter doesn't have to be harassed because of the choices that she's making. And one of the things I think would really, really help is training people, or just having probably toolkits whereby we can train people about the consequences and what online gender-based violence is, because most people do it and they don't realize that they are harassing people online. So we can have toolkits where we are able to train people or just make them aware, create awareness, even through the media, about OGBV and the consequences and what to watch out for. So yeah, I'd really want to see a future where we have no, kind of harassment.
When there's no gender violence trolling on social media, I would have my freedom as well as the other person who is responding to that.
50+ years after independence, we're still begging to be elected or even to be appointed as an assistant chief. We haven't convinced that we are leaders. We come up strong and say we're fighting for women leadership, but all the men think is we're trying to overtake them. That's not what we're trying to do. We're just saying can be an MCA just like you can be an MCA. As women and as people who want to empower women leadership, then we have a lot to do. Number one, we would call on the government, for example, to just get people who are trolling women, people who are violating women online. That's a lot asking from our government. We would post things with our own accounts against someone and we'll just maybe get into cell one day, the next day you're out. So corruption will kill our fight for gender-based violence.
I think that's possible. It's very possible. Sometime last month, the Tanzanian president, Suluhu, was harassed last year, 2021. And the gentleman was imprisoned for 5 years and he got a taste of his own medicine. I think there's a space to do that. It is possible. So it's the right policies and the right people to make the noise. But also I think as an individual, should I see a troll on my groups, on my page, it's just to outrightly come out and call out the person for it and follow maybe the certain laws that are there, and they get the taste of their own medicine.
I think I'll post more and I'll really post what I want and what I feel. I will post what is authentic and what I truly feel as Aisha and as a woman. Because you see now I'm always thinking, what will people think of me? If I post this, how will people carry me as a woman and as a leader in this society? So I think in an ideal world where there was no online gender-based violence, I think I'll be more free and I'll be more authentic in what I post.
My ideal world is a world without cyberbullying. Everyone expresses themselves fully with no fear of intimidation or attack.
I would post, I'd post anything and everything, every day, any minute. I'd feel like I'm in a free world. Now I feel like I have all the platform, IG, LinkedIn, TikTok, but I can't post, I'm restricted.
I would have my freedom as well as the other person who is responding to that.
In an ideal world where there isn't OGBV, I think I'd post more, because then I'd be myself. I'd be free to post, what I want to post and not really look at what people would think about it.